Welcome to Philosophy in Pajamas podcasts. We are skipping the small talk today. We're going straight into this really revolutionary idea at the intersection of power, freedom, and, well, our relationships. And the core idea, which we pulled from some collected notes, it just cuts through all the usual scripts we've been handed about love. It's this. You can't control someone who knows how to be alone. They don't need you. They choose you. That's power.
It really is a concept that hits you like a mirror, isn't it? When Rushnick laid this out, it just arrived with no agenda, no drama. It was just the truth. We're not talking about a life hack here.
No, not at all.
We're talking about the purest foundation for any real connection, which is self-belonging. It's probably the most honest form of strength there is.
I love that framing, self-belonging. So our mission here is to really unpack what that specific kind of solitude actually is. Why does being whole on your own completely transform how you connect with everyone else?
And why does it short-circuit all those attempts at control? Yeah, let's pull that thread.
Okay, so let's start with the foundational state of this person. The notes say that nothing inside them is starving. That description, it just grounds the whole thing, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Just think about that image, nothing starving. In a relationship, starving means you're, desperately reaching for approval. You're bargaining for attention, trying to fill some kind of void.
You're always negotiating.
Always. And when you're starving, you'll take almost anything. But this person, the one with self-belonging, they've already fed themselves. They are quite simply already complete before anyone else even walks into the room.
But doesn't that immediately bring up this common misconception that if you're alone or complete, you must be cold or distant, maybe even a little bit hardened by life?
That is the crucial distinction we have to make. True self-belonging is not about isolation. It's not building a fortress at all. It is the very conscious choice to stop that exhausting process of outsourcing your stability.
Let's pause on that phrase because it's huge. Outsourcing your stability. What does that actually look like for someone listening?
It means you've handed over the remote control for your own well-being to someone else. Maybe it's their mood or how fast they text back or if they like your post.
Right. If they're happy, I'm okay. If they're distant, I'm anxious.
Exactly. When you stop outsourcing, you take that power back. You become okay with your own thoughts. You're not in a rush to fill every single quiet moment.
It sounds like real internal sovereignty. And I have to imagine being in a relationship with someone like that must feel completely different.
It does, because their worth is stable. It's non-negotiable. It doesn't spike or crash based on what you do or don't do. So there's no panic if you miss a call. Their value isn't tied to how long you choose to stay.
So they're coming from a place of abundance, not scarcity.
Always.
And that internal shift from scarcity to, well, abundance, that brings us right to the next big point, the move from hunger to choice. If you're not starving, you stop getting into relationships out of desperation.
Yes, or staying in them purely out of fear of being alone. That's where people get so confused. They think this intense, clinging attachment is love.
It's not.
It's not. And when you're rooted in yourself, the questions you ask they change completely. You're no longer asking who will choose me, who's going to save me from this feeling.
Instead, the question becomes, who aligns with me?
Precisely. And that one little shift in perspective, it changes everything. Who you let in, how you vet them, and especially how you handle conflict.
And this internal clarity, that's the kryptonite for control, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because control, it only works if there's dependency. If I think I'll fall apart without you, I'll put up with almost anything.
That's the mechanism, yeah. Control just thrives in that vacuum. Guilt, withdrawal, mixed signals, all those classic manipulation tactics, they feed on that dependency.
Let's take one of those. Mixed signals. How does this self-possessed person react when someone, say, pulls them close and then just goes cold? How does that neutralize the attempt at control?
That's a perfect example. Someone using mixed signals is using uncertainty as a weapon, right? To create anxiety, to make you chase them.
To make you work for their approval.
Right. But for the person who is rooted in themselves, that tactic it falls flat. They don't see the withdrawal and think, oh no, what did I do wrong?
What do they think?
They observe the behavior for what it is: inconsistent,
Yeah.
unreliable. Their internal dialogue is, this person isn't very clear, not, I must not be good enough.
So the tactic just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
Because their worth was never on the table to begin with.
Exactly. They are clear. And as the notes from Rushik point out, that clarity is actually really threatening to people who need chaos to feel important. They need the drama to stay relevant in your life.
Wow. So the person creating the chaos is actually the one who's most afraid.
Without your dependency, they have no leverage. It's that simple.
So if the internal engine is running that cleanly, how does it look on the outside? In their behavior, let's talk about their boundaries because it says they don't chase and they don't run. They just observe, respond, and choose.
It's an economy of emotional energy. It's so dignified. If something feels disrespectful, they just remove themselves. No big announcement, no drama, no pleading, just a quiet exit from the situation.
The notes made a point to say their boundaries require no announcements, no ultimatums. How is that different from what we normally think of as setting a boundary?
Well, a typical boundary might sound like, if you do X again, then I will do Y. There's still an element of trying to control the other person's behavior there.
Oh, I see.
But this person, they don't announce the consequence. They are the consequence. Their action is the boundary. They don't need to give a speech to justify their self-respect.
They just realize their energy is too valuable to be spent teaching someone basic decency.
Exactly. And here's the beautiful irony that Rushik pointed out. Because they aren't terrified of losing the other person, they are free to love them more deeply. Once that anxiety of loss is gone, you can finally see the person in front of you.
That makes perfect sense. If you're constantly in defense mode, you're not really present. You're just waiting for the next threat.
Right, and that creates a very noisy kind of love. It's cluttered with fear. But the love from a self-possessed person is, well, it's clean. It's listening without planning your defense. It's giving without keeping score.
And allowing the other person's space without becoming suspicious.
Yes, because their sense of security isn't built on the other person's constant presence.
So solitude, then, it's not about being antisocial. It's really the ultimate teacher of discernment.
Absolutely. When you get rid of all that external noise, you start to see patterns. You learn the difference between a real connection and just a distraction. You learn that chemistry without genuine care. It leads nowhere good.
And I think this is a huge lesson for a lot of us. Consistency matters so much more than intensity. We chase that intense high, the drama.
And that rush is addictive, but it's not sustainable. Intensity's easy. Consistency, that takes intention. It takes real character. The flashy fire burns out, but that steady, reliable glow,
Yeah.
that's what actually keeps you warm.
That steady glow is self-belonging made external. I like that.
Now, let's contrast this with what our culture often tells us to value. We're taught to reward dependency and call it loyalty. But real power, real strength is knowing you will be okay even if everything changes tomorrow.
That resilience is the real immunity. It lets you stop performing. You don't have to twist yourself into a pretzel to be liked or soften your truth to keep the peace.
Exactly. You speak honestly because silence, or even someone leaving, it doesn't scare you anymore. If they stay, wonderful. If they can't handle your clarity and they leave, well, life goes on.
There's such a dignity in that. And it leads to being chosen, not just needed. The notes put it so beautifully, I am here because this adds meaning, not because I'm afraid of emptiness.
And that kind of choice, it's rare, it's powerful, it doesn't fluctuate with a bad mood or a minor conflict. It's a commitment that's adding value, not just filling a hole.
So the consequences are profound. Love becomes clean, friendship becomes spacious, partnership becomes mutual, not transactional.
And it all comes back to that one fundamental truth. You cannot control someone who knows how to be alone. Their freedom is not up for negotiation. You can either meet them as an equal or you lose access, period.
And that's not arrogance.
No, it's freedom. And as Rushik made so clear, we have to remember this powerful idea. Walking away is not failure. It is self-respect.
That's the perfect place to land. That crucial distinction between being needed and being chosen. This entire framework seems to guide us toward building relationships on that cleaner, choice-based foundation.
So if we can leave you with one final thought to maybe mull over, it's this. If you could identify just one area where you are currently outsourcing your stability, where you're relying on someone else to feel okay, what would it be? And what's one tiny step you could take this week to bring that stability back home to yourself?
We hope this analysis gave you something substantial to think about. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can follow Rushik for more insights on medium.com/Rushik Rawal.